Hello everyone, welcome to BadgerBeat's.com. Rob Hernandez along with Jim Polzin as we go through Jim's keys to the game for the NCAA semifinal matchup between the Badgers and the Kentucky Wildcats. Jim, I know it's been common themes throughout, and I think they're going to be common again tomorrow night, but they've worked. Number one key to the game for the Badgers is?
Make shots. I think they're going to try to get the ball inside to Frank Kaminsky. I think Kentucky's going to probably try to stop that based on what they've seen. I think that's going to leave UW's shooters open on the outside, and it comes down to knocking down shots. Ben Brust, Trey Jackson, and Josh Gosser have to knock down open shots from the perimeter. The one guy of that group I really want to keep an eye on is Gosser because he struggled out in Anaheim last week. I think he was 1 of 10 overall, 0 of 5 from three-point range. So, if he could knock down a couple, that would certainly help. If all those guys can just, when they're there, knock down the shots, then it opens things back up for Kaminsky on the inside, and he can maybe get going.
Before we get to the next key, a number of the guys talked about the environment here, and everyone's been talking about the environment, the big stadium. I think Frank Kaminsky compared it to an outdoor stadium, almost like playing on a ship. How big a factor is that going to be, and what can the shooters that the Badgers have come to trust, what can they do to get over that?
Well, I think not think about it, and which is almost impossible.
Right.
They're going to get out there. There's going to be 80,000 fans in this huge venue, but I just think you got to get the game started and stop thinking about where you are. They've had a couple chances here. Thursday, Friday practices. They'll have one more shoot around tomorrow before the game. So they had chances to get used to it, and yet it's not going to be like what they've seen because there's going to be people in the stands. But I think the worst thing you can do is make a big deal about it. And Sam Decker said that today is, don't talk about it. Don't let it get in your head. Just go out there and play like it's a normal game. And I think, like I said, in time tomorrow, 5-10 minutes into the game, it'll be normal for them. They'll be fine. What you don't want to happen is those first 5-10 minutes of the game is to fall into a huge hole and spend the rest of the game chasing.
Okay, key to the game number 2, what is that?
Well, Julius Randle, stopping him. He's 6'9", 250 pounds. He's had 24 double-doubles this season. UW's had 7 as a team. It's just an amazing number. He goes out there and puts up 15 points and 10 rebounds every night. So, it's a legitimate concern because, Wisconsin doesn't have the size necessarily to defend him. Sam Decker gives up 2 inches and, maybe 30 pounds to Randall. So, they got to be physical with him. They can't back down from him. And another thing is, I want to see how this game's called tomorrow because foul trouble could dictate things. If a guy like Kaminsky gets in foul trouble, that's not obviously not good for UW. But on the flip side, maybe UW can get some of their big guys. Maybe they can get a Randall or one of the Harrison twins in foul trouble, just using shot fakes and ball fakes and stuff like that. So I'm interested to see how tightly the game is officiated.
Before we get to the third key, you talked about the physical matchup with Randall, but with all these guys for Kentucky, they're all freshmen. We've talked a lot about the one and done against the program guys. Can you get them out of their game mentally? I know that we're deep into the season, but they are freshmen. This will be their first time on this big stage too. How much of the matchup with Randall is physical, and can it be at any point mental?
I think Randall's pretty mentally strong. The one knock on the Harrison twins were that maybe you could get in their head a little bit, but I think they've done so. They've kind of gotten over that, and that's a big reason why Kentucky's here. So I'm not sure you can. But you know what? Go out and make some shots tomorrow early in the game and get maybe a double-digit lead and force them to take some shots maybe they're not comfortable taking, and that changes everything. And that's why I say I think the first 10 minutes tomorrow are going to be huge just to kind of set the tone. Baylor, that Baylor
Right.
game, exactly what happened is UW set the tone in that game and really dictated how the game was going to go, and Baylor spent the rest of the night chasing and never could catch up.
Last key of the game, Jim, is?
The last key of the game is just the sheer size difference between these teams. Kentucky's starting lineup is 6'6", 6'6", 6'6", 6'9", 7 foot. Wisconsin's is 7 foot, 6'7", and then 6'3", 6'2", 6'1". I think I added it up today, and Kentucky's starting lineup weighs 100 more pounds than UW, so that's 20 guys per position, 20 pounds per position, excuse me. So, and listen, Wisconsin's played teams that are bigger than it all season. They're used to it. But I still think it is a factor because if the game, like I said, depending on how it's officiated, if Kentucky gets to be physical and there's no whistles, I don't know that necessarily bodes well for Wisconsin. So we'll see if Kentucky can just wear on Wisconsin. I'm curious to see how that plays out.
All right, there you go. Jim Polzin's keys to the game for the Badgers against Kentucky Saturday night right here at Cowboy Stadium in Arlington. For Jim Polzin, Rob Hernandez, thanks for watching Badger Beat.